I warned you, didn't I? I said, beware these dogs. I said, do not approach. Y'all didn't listen.
I fucking told you. You heard me say it. You heard me say it. I slowed down so you can come and get some.
You can't beat us. We too fast. We too strong. He can't tackle us. He can't catch us. You might as well leave now. Get the hell out of Philly.
They're scared of you, bro. They are scared of you.
These dogs is growling now. And the last thing you want to be is that next meal.
Give me some respect right now.
Yeah, don't be trying to get me mic'd up today. Yeah.
Oh, he's like that.
Look what I'm doing. the fans watching.
Get the hell out of here.
The fans watching today. Oh! Hey, Q, you can't catch, bro. Q can't catch some shit. And I got a little cold. It got cold. That wind blowing. Hey, do it get warm in Iowa?
It'll get warm?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets warm.
I just can never see Iowa being warm.
Only in the summertime, really.
Only summertime? Yeah. So y'all got no warm time but summertime?
Pretty much.
Nah, that's not it for me. You have to move.
You ever played a game in snow? Looks like it could be snow in the forecast.
I think I played one my second year against Green Bay in snow, but I was on turf. But definitely as a kid growing up, played many snow football games. So if it snows, look forward to it.
You run for 255 yards against the team. What's the approach the second time around when you play them?
Yeah, I mean, they're a way better team than they were on defense. From my opinion, watching film on them and see how much they improved, and they're playing great football on that side right now. So we know it's going to be a challenge. And, you know, when you rush for over 300 yards against a team, they're going to do something. They're going to have some type of game plan to make sure it don't happen again. But our mindset is just execute our game plan, and not just against this team, but throughout the whole season. When we go out there and, you know, we're on our stuff and we execute our game plan, we put ourselves in position to be successful.
And you mentioned this defense definitely looks better on film as of late. What do you think is the biggest difference?
I mean, I thought they were pretty decent before we played them. I think we just got, you know, the best of them that day. But they fly around to the ball really well. They're up front. They're extremely good. You know, you don't accidentally get, I think, what was it, 8 sacks or 9 sacks against Minnesota. They do a really good job with the Scots and blitzes pretty well. So we know that they're probably going to want to try to get us in long distances so they can, you know, create blitzes and try to create sacks and make plays on the ball. But like I said, if we stick to what we're able to do, and, you know, obviously don't come out with a game plan, but get their game plan out and figure them out, we'll be all right. We're gonna be all right.
Saquon, do you remember, you know, the snow game with LaShawn McCoy against the Lions in 2013? And I mean, have you watched that game at all? You know all about it?
Yeah, I know all about it. I wouldn't say I know it from watching it. I think once I got here, or even watching Shady, his highlights, this one probably one of his most memorable games. So, yeah, I think, you know, he had another one in Buffalo too when we played in the snow game. Definitely gonna call Shady, and just in case we do get some snow, see what he did, because there's no reason, it don't make sense how he was able to cut in that snow, and you get to see he was on a whole different level. But yeah, I'm familiar with it.
You often hear when you have snow games like that, accumulation on the ground that benefits an offensive game. Do you buy into that?
I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, whether it's snow, rain, sleet, whatever it is, if we don't go out there and we don't execute, when we go against great teams like how we're playing right now in the divisional playoffs, you're going to set yourself up for an outcome you don't want. But whether it's 100 degrees or 10 degrees, if we go out there and we execute the game plan and stick to what we know and make plays that when they need to be made, we're going to be all right. So I don't think it's an advantage either one way or the other. The advantage goes to the people that who go out there and execute their game plan and play at a high level.
Do you expect them to throw, because you were so successful in the first meeting, do you think there's personal stuff that you haven't seen?
Yeah, I mean,
there's certain ways to defend the run.
Yeah, definitely, but they won't be the first team. You know, we're one of the best run teams in the league. That's not by accident. The work we put in, so we know they're gonna have a game plan for it. But at the same time, too, we know that the only thing that matters is winning football games. So you want to overemphasize on stopping the run. We got some pretty good wide receivers out there too that will light it up, and a pretty good quarterback that will light it up. So we're excited for the opportunity, excited for the challenge, and go against a really good team who's rolling at a high level right now. And they're gonna be ready coming in and Philly. I'm gonna be ready for them.
Saquon, you spent your whole life in the Northeast, so I imagine this is what you know for December, January, right? Is this the type of weather you like, or would you prefer, you know?
Yeah.
Like dome stadiums.
I mean, I'd rather play on grass, so I probably won't pick dome over grass. But yeah, I've been around this my whole life, so it's nothing new to me. But like I said, I don't really buy into the weather thing. If whoever comes out there and executes is going to be the team that's going to win. So that's my mindset, and you know, I trust in the system that we have, and I trust in the game plan that we have, and the players that we have here, and the coaches that we have. So whether it's 5 degrees or 90, we just got to go out there and execute. We're going to be all right.
I completely understand.
You have the right footwear for this game. It can be slippery. You talk to Shady about what he wore during that game?
I haven't reached out to him, but definitely would. The beauty is G was here while Shady had that game, so he probably knows a little bit more too. So I have that up my sleeve. But wherever the weather is, I will make sure that I listen to G and Coach Singleton, because I was stubborn in Green Bay, and the first 3 plays, I slipped and fell on my head. So wherever they have eyes, I would definitely be taking their advice there.
What were you stubborn about?
I didn't want to play in studs against Green Bay. I felt like in the warm-ups, I felt good on my footing, on cutting, and then when I actually got to live bullets, 3 plays in a row, I slipped and fell. So, they know a little bit more than me in that aspect.
That was Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I completely understand if you're not preoccupied or fixated on what the Rams are saying in the media, but Jared Verse is catching a number of headlines for telling the LA Times that he hates Eagles fans. What are your thoughts?
Probably not the smartest thing to say when you're coming to Philadelphia. I've been on the other side, and even if I felt some type of way, probably wouldn't give them any extra fuel. But pretty sure Philly fans and seen that comment, it was already going to be loud and rocking. So just only going to add to it.
Yeah, you were on the opposite side there. Divisional round 2 years ago. Did you catch anything that you remember from that?
Yeah, I mean, just the stuff that they would say. You know, conversations are a little different now. Now that I have the midnight green on, but it's football. You know, that's how I look at it. You know, you're gonna talk crap, and it's Philly. You know, they're nasty, they're grimy, and I think we represent that too as a team. So we look to show that on Sunday.
I think you caught some strays from BG before during the
Yeah, BG. You know that, and stuff like that goes a long way. Right from the beginning, you're going out there and on a towing course, and you got BG chirping at you. You know, for me, it made me want to play at a high level and want me to go out there and make plays. But before you know it, we were down 28 something, right? Like 21-0 and 3 drives. So, and I remember how loud and electric the stadium was. So, we definitely got to use that to our advantage. And the way we use that to our advantage by going out there making plays and keeping the crowd, you know, involved, which we already know they're going to be. And most important, get a win from them.
Saquon, the thought here has always been you guys can run against anyone, even when they try to stop the run. And you kind of indicated that just now before. Why is that? Why are you guys able to have that success even when teams load the box and build their game plan around stopping it?
I think it's a numbers game. When you load the box and you bring extra people into the box, it's a beautiful thing because it's hard to run and you got to be gap disciplined and we're in the right gaps. It's hard to run against. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like myself as a back, being patient and having that home run speed, if you load the box and we get through, there's really no one back there. I feel like the coaches put us in a great position and have, you know, a great scheme around that. And then most importantly, it's the guys up front, from the tight ends to, you know, even the wide receivers blocking down the field, do a really good job of adjusting to that. And we never lose hope. There's been multiple games, where we don't really get stuff popping off until the third, fourth quarter. But it's just a belief that we have in each other that at some point it's going to happen. So I think that goes to the reason why we've been so successful in the run game, and we look forward to continuing that too.
Saquon, when Jalen was saying the other day, early on you get like a lot of dirty yards, and then how funny is that kind of like describing like how you guys can wear down a team with the run game?
Yeah, that's football, especially playoff football. You know, you don't go out there and expect to average 8 yards a pop every game. The way you get to 6 and 5 is by breaking long runs. You know, you take the 2, you take the 3, you take the 4, you take the 5, you lean on them. Sometimes there might even be a cut that you know you can make, but you're just kind of saving on the back end because you're just leaning on them and setting up. I kind of learned that from Marshall Faulk, having a conversation with him. And then before you know it, there's a big hole and all 2 races, and hopefully it's not a no-ma situation and I don't got slapped.
That seems to require a lot of patience still on your part, not getting frustrated. You're only 2 or 3 yards during the game. Is that kind of how you see it?
Yeah, I had to learn that too. I think that's probably like the biggest thing you got to learn when you're a running back in college and you come to NFL. Early in my years, I felt like that. You know, I used to press and try to make stuff happen. But there's a time and place too. I think a perfect example of, you know, Dallas. Everybody knew what we were trying to do and what we wanted to accomplish. And the last drive, when I broke 2K, you know, there was more of me trying to be out there and be more creative. And it works sometimes, but I've also learned that it's not like that every time. And those guys over there are the best in the league for a reason. So trusting them and trusting Stout and trusting Kellen and trusting the system and just make sure that my alignment's right and my shoulders are square. And when my shoulders are square, I can see it all and just go.
Jalen talked about after the Rams game, well, you guys hit a lot of big plays. You struggled in the red zone. You guys were 2 for 5 in that game. What did the Rams do to kind of make it difficult down there? I
mean, it's hard to score in the red zone in this league, and they do a really good job. I think they pressure us a little bit down there, and at the end of the day, we didn't execute. When you go back and you look at plays, we could have done a better job executing down there. We look forward to that. We look forward to that challenge and find ways to get in the end zone.
The offensive line, especially this week, has talked a lot about last week. They felt like the communication wasn't where it needed to be, and they've talked about that a lot this season. Have you seen that up and down of communication, and have you seen that maybe improve this week?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't just put it on the offensive line. I think as a whole offense, like I said, there's a lot of things we could improve on, and communication was definitely one of those things. And the way you do that is by going to practice, attacking practice, whether it's in walkthrough or whether it's live reps, and doing that and practicing at a high level. And then now we go in there Sunday and we just let it all come together. So that's a focus, and we feel like we could have done better last week, and we look forward to that challenge this week.
Not probably quite the extent of 5 inches, but we'll see what happens.
What's the operation like? How much can you clear out? Like, what's involved in that?
It's going to be a full team effort for sure. Get the O-lineman guys out there if we need to, and brush that off, and try to clear the way.
What's the operation like in terms of that? Like, you have like a signal, whatever. Like, say, get kicking it?
Yeah, they know. I mean, it's situational stuff that we've gone over this week already, just in case there is that situation that arises. So they know that they're kind of at my service at that moment, and we'll get it taken care of.
How much has it kind of helped practicing at the link this whole week, with the wind? I mean, yesterday obviously it was a little bit snowy.
It's always good to get over there, just kind of feel the wind and how it swirls over there. Obviously, it's an advantage for us that we have this home field and we're able to get over there during the week, and we're used to the cold elements, we're used to the wind, and so it'll be an advantage for us.
How do you feel physically? I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the missed extra point and some of the other missed field goals lately. How are you feeling going?
I feel good. I feel confident. I'm striking the ball well. It's tough to kick in the Northeast. Sometimes they don't go through, and that's what it is. I'm working my tail off to make sure I get it right, and I feel good.
What about kicking equipment like cleats today? I mean, obviously you don't.
Yeah, I'll lean in on these guys. I've tried out a couple different plant cleats this week just to make sure I feel comfortable in whatever I am wearing.
There's just been a notion that a lot of people are saying the Rams have been improving and on a good trajectory and have gotten a lot better since you guys played them the first time. When you look at them on tape, what is it that they do well, and what is it that you've seen they've improved on as the season went on?
Well, I think they've always been a great team, and we caught them while they were hot, and we're catching them while they're hot again. And this is a young team led by a great coach, great quarterback, great players all around. They got a great defense. They've been very disruptive up front. Just got to come and execute. I think it starts in the trenches in a game like this, and we've been able to run the ball effectively. And so, hopefully we continue to oppose our will up front.
When you see 9 sacks, how much does that get your attention? And you say, yeah, that can't happen if we're going to win this game.
You don't think about that. You try and think about what you can control and keeping the main thing, going, trying to be the best we can be and control what we can. So that's the approach.
You mentioned the guys up front. That was Saquon's biggest game of the year. You had the 2 big runs. How much can you take from that moving forward?
From
just as far as being able to dominate in that particular way, can you take a lot from that, and or do you expect adjustments?
Well, I think every game is its own game. So obviously we're going to look back at the tape and look at this team, and like we said, this team is different than what it was. We just got to go out there and execute.
Jordan made a point of how you were not wearing sleeves at practice last week. Same thing today. Is that intentional on your part?
No, it's no message. It's just going out there, getting ready for practice. That's how I play, so try and keep it very consistent.
Jalen, when you rewatched the game from this past weekend, what were some of your takeaways from your play?
I mean, I think there's some opportunities. There's always going to be something that you want back. You wish you could have done or taken advantage of, but ultimately, I think we all made plays when we needed to the most, and I think that's what matters.
When you see, it's very unusual for AJ to have one catch. I think since you guys have been together, it's only happened one other time you won the game against the Chiefs. But when that happens, is there any focus like, hey, we got to try to get him the ball more when you get ready for the next game?
I think just getting everybody involved is important, and making an effort to be efficient in what we do. He's a big part of what we do. Devonta is a big part of what we do. Dallas, Saquon. Everybody has a role, and so I think it comes down to managing everything that we have and trying to take advantage of everything, being efficient.
We've heard you talk about getting into a rhythm. What goes into getting you into a rhythm early in the game?
It looks different. Every game is different, like I said. I think you guys need to understand that I don't play the game for anything other than to win, and my role in each game will be different, and the approach in each game is different, and you just want to go out there and do your job and take advantage of opportunities, obviously. And I think some things are magnified a little bit more because there's less opportunity in certain areas. But ultimately, it's about winning the game. We're talking about playoff football.
This past game, I think, was the first time, I don't know, maybe one of the first times I ever saw you take one from under center and not do play action. Why was that the right time? And what
I didn't call that play. So when necessarily, I don't know that I can answer that question. I think that's a Kellen question. Okay. But it was the first time for everything. And I think that's something that, I don't mind doing. I think that also, I know that I'm capable of doing all of these things. It's just a matter of the approach we take and what we do.
I was talking to Jordan Mailata about leadership, and with Jason Kelce retiring last year, Jordan said he wanted to step up as a leader and being a captain and everything, and Lane as well on the line. How have they helped you out with leadership on offense especially?
Everybody, I look at it and I see everyone making an impact and making a difference in their own way. And when you think about everything coming back to what the root is, I think the root is just winning. Winning, understanding the mission of the team, and I think it's very cool to see how people come together and do that. And to those two guys specifically, just their experience, the wisdom, how they play, how they approach it, and then they've been fortunate to have Jason Peters, all of these guys that have been there in the room. And I've been fortunate to play with Jason Peters and see how he plays, see how he works, and then see how Jason Kelsey knows and understands the knowledge, the game and everything that comes with the game from his position. And so those are all things to be respected, and I know that Lane and Jordan heavily respect that out of everyone that they've been able to be around, all the teammates.
When you see teams trying to take away Saquon Barkley, which obviously has happened from, they've tried from time to time, how, do you feel the answers as far as accounting for that, how you guys are able to adjust, in-game, mid-game, and everything to account for that?
Yeah, I don't think, kind of loaded a little bit. I don't think that there's been a game where he's been taken away.
Right, but they try to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
They try, He's a great player, and I think we complement each other well, and he's been able to just get dirty yards, and soon enough he pops one off, and so that's been a big part of our success this year as a team, and that's a credit to everyone playing a role in that, blocking out wide, holding backside players, off of a fake, a down block or a pull, or the identification up front, and everyone being on the same page. It's a collective effort.
Do you expect a lot of blitz this week? They've had success this last game. Do you expect a lot? Do you welcome it?
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know really what they're going to do. It's a great team. I think even Green Bay kind of did some different things that we were not expecting as an offensive unit. And so, it's the playoffs. It's the playoffs. Got to be ready for everything.
What have you seen from Saquon in terms of taking care of himself and being 100% late in the season after 400 touches?
It's impressive. It's impressive. You see it. It's not normal. He's a special player, and to know he's been doing it for a while here, and he's had some things he's had to battle through, but he's come in very hungry, very dedicated, just to work that. Starting in the offseason, rushing to try and catch and talk and just get on the same page, and it's been great.
What's been your assessment of the screen game this season? What's been your assessment of the screen game? And
I have no assessment of it. I think overall we just got to be able to use the different things that our offense is capable of doing.
I think it was Slayton who threw Saquon to the ground, and you got up in his face. Did you kind of have the offensive lineman mentality there about how they protect you to get up in there?
It wasn't. It's just a natural reaction.
How much do you think AJ? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You said after the Super Bowl loss that you either win or you learn. And what have you kind of learned since that night that has helped you that now in the thick of these playoffs again?
Yeah. It's been great. Just the approach and the growth and the learning lessons along the journey of everything. You had these special opportunities, and you definitely want to take advantage of them. And we're taking it one day at a time. But it comes down to keeping the main thing, and improving. When you win, you're winning, you're beating your opponent. But improving is beating yourself. And we just want to. I always think that it comes down to just how am I learning from my moments, my experiences, and applying them to the next opportunity. And you want to take advantage of those opportunities. So I think that's where I am, in an improvement mindset, and just trying to take steps every day. I think this team is at that same place. There's no complacency. There's no lack of hunger. It's just taking it one day at a time, and doing it.
How much do you think?
You mentioned before that all you care about is winning, and I'm curious what it's taken from you personally this year in this offense, where there may be a time where the passing game takes a backseat and there's questions about it, or and you've talked with your coach, you talk about the good conversations you've had. What has it taken personally from you this year?
It's been a journey. It's been a journey, and it's been a great journey of just evolving. I was just talking to Tanner and telling him how fortunate I am to be able to learn as much ball as I've been able to learn with the different faces that I've been with. You guys heard me talk about continuity so much. However, there's a backside to that, and there's an appreciation there to be able to take in as much knowledge as I can and I think that helps me and furthers my knowledge in the game. And so it truly is about winning. It truly is about winning. I don't know. Doesn't matter how it looks. Doesn't matter how it looks. And I think people kind of winning and losing, success and failures are relative to the person. And winning as a team is what's important to me.
Thanks, John.
That's it, guys. You gotta roll. Thanks, John.
AJ, how did the finish game? I know you weren't at practice today. Was that the same as last week, just managing it?
Yeah, I felt fine after the game. Came out clean and just how the part of the game. I'll be out there tomorrow. So.
Did you feel like yourself out there on Sunday, or did you feel like you impacted you at all?
No, I was fine, moving around fine. I was open.
How does the plan come together when you're kind of managing an injury throughout the week?
Really just depends on just how I feel on a day-to-day basis. I communicate that with my training staff, and they tell me to, these are the periods that, you can do and just shut it down. Because most importantly, it's about the game, so.
Do you miss that practice time? I mean, is that something that...
Yeah, I miss it because, I'm a work junkie. I love to work, and, and that's the way I try to get better at, and that's where I get better at, and as you saw before the game, I did like a whole individual myself, just get going, some things I missed before during the week, I try to get it right before the game. So.
AJ, what is the last game against the Rams and the success that you had in the offense? What does that mean to you?
It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's a new game. They playing different football. We playing different football at this moment, so it comes down to making plays and, yeah.
When you look back at the last game, we talked about the passing offense so much. How close do you guys think you are to figuring this out?
I'm always be optimistic about it. Last week wasn't our best performance, so we got a great opportunity ahead. Luckily, we got another opportunity to go out there and perform, and that's what we focus on.
What gives you the confidence?
It's the players in the locker room, the coaching staff. We've done it before, so it's not too far. It's not like it's never been done. So we just got to do what we got to do.
Is it a similar schedule for you this week, last week?
Not as much. Tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow I'll be out there. So.
There's been a lot of reaction to you reading the book on the sideline. It's #1 on Amazon now. Just what's your reaction to all the craziness about it?
A lot, but none of that stuff really matters. I'm continue to be myself. I'm not pretending. It's not a facade or anything, So, who cares who don't like it, I'm a 3-time All-Pro. Yes, I'm a pop my. That's just what it is. That's just what it is, and I do that for myself. I don't care nobody. Like I'm not a distraction. So most importantly, I go out there and do my job. So all the other, it don't matter.
Are you ever surprised about the influence you have though? That a book like that skyrockets on.
Yeah, sometimes me personally, I'm very humble, and sometimes I forget who I am. In a sense of how big stuff can get blown out of proportion. Because to me, I'm just being myself, and I'm not trying to cause a distraction or stuff like that. But hats off to Jim. I talked to him. He's a great guy. The book is amazing. For all who bought the book, you should check it out. So
there is positive stories.
Yeah,
about
it is.
The Today Show did a nice feature on it today.
Yeah.
Jim's done a lot of interviews. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, none of those really matter. I appreciate the positive. But most importantly, I do my job, and that's all that matters. So regardless if I'm reading a book or I'm throwing rocks on the sideline, don't matter. I do my job. So don't get it confused.
Something Mike Vrabel said is how proud he is of how far you've come from where you were in terms of finding a way to center yourself, for lack of a better term. How have you progressed in that area from when you first got into the league?
Yeah, I won't get into none of that. Me and Brave got a great relationship. I'm not going to get into any of that, though.
AJ, how have the Rams performed? What have you seen from them since the last time you played them?
Yeah, they're a completely different football team since we played them. They're flying around. I think they're playing their best football right now. And we got to go out and play our best football and try to be mistake-free, most importantly. So it's a different team. Nothing matters of what happens before, in that past game, so.
Hold on. We'll see when we get there. Every situation, every weather situation I've been a part of is kind of different. You go out there and see what you can do, what you can't do, and I'm sure that Sunday will be no different. Yeah, that's about right. Didn't do a whole lot great. Moved the ball a few times, got some points, but game got away from us a little bit, and never want that to happen. So just doing everything we can to try and make sure that, against a really talented football team at their place, we, come ready to go and play solid football.
what you're coming back to. What was that thought process like?
A lot of unknowns, obviously, and luckily we got back here, and everybody's doing everything they can to make it, as functional of a city as we possibly can. I think they're doing a hell of a job, which is great. And then, our mind turns to football straight, right away. It's a short week anyways, playing on a Monday night. They got a full 24-hour jump on us at least. So, try to get your body and your mind ready as quickly as you can.
We've talked a lot about the energy that Tyler's brought to the team since he's come back to practice. But on a more practical level, what is his presence meant for the offensive operation?
Oh, it's been great. He's a guy that's familiar with what we've been trying to do. He's been here for a long time. He knows what the standard is, the expectation, and then frankly, he's just a really good football player too. You get out there, whether it's catching a seam early or a little flat route late and making somebody miss. He did a nice job with his opportunities, on Monday, and hopefully he's feeling great and can go.
There's so much talk about after the game Monday about with the fires and your family helping with the process. How much this week is the recovery needed because of maybe that adrenaline, maybe that helping others? Is that part of the recovery process?
Yeah, that was it was a long week last week for us, for everybody in the city, ourselves included, picking up and moving to a different state and staying in hotels and doing all the stuff that, comes with moving that many people to, a new location and try and still practice and do all the things that we did. And then, we're 24 hours behind on a Monday night game. So, there's definitely some recovery that comes into that, making sure that we're doing everything we can to sleep as much as you can, get your body right, get your mind right, ready to go, so that come Sunday we're fresh again and ready to go play with that same energy and passion that we had last Monday.
And with this situation ongoing, do you get the sense that wins now by the Rams for this community a little bit more important in any way, and does that motivate you in any way to bring this community?
Yeah, definitely. We put a ton of work into this all the way back into OTAs and minicamp and all that. So we're obviously intrinsically motivated as well, man. We put our life on hold in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas to come and play football and do everything we can to try and help this team win. So, we're motivated for our team and the work that we put in, but we're definitely motivated by, the situation that is going on around here and then the people that are, leaning on us to give them a little bit of joy come the weekend. And hopefully we can do that again. I think, 7 games, that's a big sample size. We've had some good ones and some not so good ones. But, I think when we're playing on all cylinders, we're not going backwards because of penalties or negative plays and things like that. We've done a really nice job of staying on schedule. And then, when the big plays have presented themselves, we did a nice job of making them. I think, Monday night was another occurrence of that. We had some chances to make some big plays. We made them. A couple even that we probably could have made and didn't. So, I think that's the biggest thing is just trying to make sure that, a couple of those drives that we had were derailed from penalties and negative plays. If we can avoid those, then we've done a really nice job.
What stands out to you as a quarterback facing a Vic Fangio defense, and how do you get Cooper maybe more involved in terms of catching the ball?
Yeah, as far as Vic goes, played against his defenses a bunch of times. Like every coach and coordinator in this league, he's evolved with the game a little bit and put his spin on his defenses, every place that he's been with the personnel groupings that he's had and the people that he's had to play with. So, this defense is the best in the league, depending on what numbers you look at. And anytime you're talking about that, it's a really talented group. And those guys they got a great front seven, they got a great back end. Anything you'd want in a defense, they've got it. 2 great corners, a star that's a young guy that's playing really well, a bunch of guys up front that are good at stopping the run and attacking the passer. So we'll have our work cut out for us really at all 3 levels, and they're playing really well as a unit as well. As far as Cooper goes, it's been strange. Obviously, the ball that I ended up throwing at Puka's feet the other day, he's sitting there wide open, and it just seemed like we were rewatching the first time we played the Eagles. Earlier this year, Coop and I were maybe this morning or whatever it was, and he's open on another one, and I get hit right as I'm throwing it to, and he's like, kind of been the way it's gone, And so sometimes those things happen, and he's an unbelievable teammate, a guy that sacrifices for our team in so many different ways. And, I know that we're at our best when everybody on the field's touching the ball. And he made his presence felt on Monday night with a big-time catch on a 3rd down that we needed. So, I think anything we can do to get him the ball, that's great. And, if you talk to him, he's just such a great team guy. He's all about us winning and doing whatever he can to help us win.
When you look at the tape from Monday night, you see your defense. What did you notice? What stood out to you the most watching them?
I think just the style, the energy that they played with. I think so many times this season I haven't done a good enough job of getting us in the end zone early or getting points on the board early, and we were able to get out to a little bit of a lead. And man, you see them attack, and that's an awesome feeling as a quarterback, as a player on offense, to know that, man, if you can get these guys the lead, these guys are really going to go. And they've been doing great even without the lead too. Don't get me wrong, but it was fun to watch that and know that these guys, they're a special group when they get going, and it's fun to watch them play and feed off of each other. The energy that they have is real.
How about for you, when you start those first 2 drives with 20-yard completions?
Yeah.
What does that do? And you've talked about what it does for everyone around you.
Yeah.
What does that do for you personally?
It's great. I'll take them whenever I can get them, but the sooner the better. There's no question about that. I think for our team, a little bit of wind in the sails. And each game is different. Each team is different on how you can attack them and how that might look. May not be a bunch of 20-yard completions, every single game. But finding a way to get points on the board, get down there, converting on third down, doing the things that it takes to score touchdowns, it's huge. And when we've done that in games, we've played well on offense. So just try to continue to do that. And that's not to say that if we don't come out on Sunday and score the first time, you don't sit there and hang your head. You fight your ass off on the next drive to try and go get points too. So, like I said, you add them up at the end of the game. Doesn't matter when you score them, but got to have more than the other team.
Now, you've always maintained every game's important. But at this stage, when there's only 4 teams left in the NFC and you're close to getting to the ultimate goal where you want to be, how do you describe what it's like this week, having this opportunity at this point again in your career?
Fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun. It's so much work. I sit there and I think back, first day of training camp, how you were feeling and all the things that are going through your mind, and looking at the end of the calendar and thinking about how long of a journey that is sometimes, it's overwhelming, a little bit daunting. But to be here now, to have worked through all the things that we've worked through as a team, as an individual, to get to this point and have the opportunities that we have in front of us is it's really fun, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I know guys on our team are doing the same. Just trying to lead as best I can to help us give ourselves the best chance we can to get a win, keep it moving. Yep. I think, like you said, we've been in that, sort of an arena, plenty of times this season. I mean, week 1 was rocking and rolling in Detroit, and it's NFL football. I mean, everywhere you go is tough. So some of our games here have been loud. So, we just prepare for it, continue to do everything we can to try to create and emulate, those situations and that noise out here at practice and go operate in it. And then it comes down to me doing as good a job as I possibly can at communicating on Sunday, and those guys, relaying that communication and playing as one.
Yeah, I think, as a head coach, he does a great job of just, giving direction. And, coaches talk about all the time when they emphasize something, our job is to bring it to life, and we've done a good job of doing that over our time here. And, I think some of the direction that he gives, I think that it falls into that same line. Find ways to make that stuff come to life and understand that there is something to be said about the focus that comes from the winding down of things, and the when you don't have anything else guaranteed past that, there's a finality to it that brings a good focus, good concentration, and just kind of brings some attention to that. I think was a good thing kind of going down the stretch there for us.
Sean told us that Tyler was spitting blood after his game in the first quarter on Monday. He's right back out here practicing again. What place has he occupied for this team and this locker room during this era of Rams football?
Yeah, I don't know if there's many people that have embodied what we want. Like what coaches talked about, what being a Rams football player is. I don't know if there's a better example than Tyler Higbee and what he's done for us over the course of his career, battling through things, but also just the teammate that he is, the workhorse that he is on the field, the energy that he brings. It's just, he's a special football player, really special dude. And so, he's. If we had a lot of Tyler Higbees, we'd be a real good football team.
How are you, or how do you cope with one target, one catch, as a guy who's been a focal point of the offense?
Yeah, you pray a lot. You do a lot of prayer, meditation. No, it's just it's football in some respects. Statistically speaking, I've gone through similar things to this before. And back in 2019, I think I finished the last half of that season, probably averaging less than 50 yards a game-ish or something like that. And so statistically, it's like, hey, there's something's wrong. But I can look back on these times like, man, I was playing good football. And in the same way, I just want to be playing good football. I want to be able to watch the tape and see that I'm doing things the right way. I'm separating, that I'm competing for my teammates. I'm blocking, doing my assignments. And I am. And that's all I can do. That's all I can control. And whatever they ask me to do, I'm going to continue to do that. And, I do believe that if you do things the right way for long enough, eventually things will come back full circle. And so I'm going to take that mentality and keep praying, and these things will work out.
Matthew noted earlier there's also been a couple instances where you were open and you got hit or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, that's been the kind of story of the year. It's just kind of been every time. It's like, man, the few plays that you have, like a really good opportunity to make a big play and to break down somewhere, and it doesn't work out. And but that's football. It's football, and I'm on a really long streak of some unfortunate things that have happened. But it is what it is. And I'm going to continue to battle and continue to come in here and work for these guys. And that's how it goes sometimes.
After that win on Monday, how quickly did your mind shift to really not knowing what's going on back here?
So pretty quickly. Obviously we had our families with us there, so you come out of the locker room and the entire organization's families are there, and we're getting on the bus with the kids, and it's just a completely different atmosphere from getting onto a bus and everyone's watching film and going over that stuff. It's like everyone's got a bunch of kids on their lap who are all tired because it's 9:30 at night. Everyone's past their bedtime. We've got a bus ride, a plane ride, a bus ride, a car ride home, and everyone's just kind of gearing up for that. So the getting back to oh man, this is the reality is that there's a lot of people that are out of their homes. There's a lot of stuff going on at home. There's a bunch of fans here that are now busing all the way back. So the reality sets back in pretty quickly of just the gravity of the situation outside of football. But but I was thankful for what the Rams did and just being able to get our families out there. That was a huge, I know that's a huge investment for them financially, but also just logistically what they had to do. So I'm very thankful for that.
Considering how this community is hurting from everything going on, would it be fair to say that maybe these victories mean a little bit more to the community, a little bit more important to get these victories?
Yeah, I think there's a level of that. I understand that there's a lot of reasons guys play this game, but to have this going on, to see the fans that have committed, that have sacrificed a lot, and in the midst of all this that's going on, continue to support support us. That we feel that, and there certainly is a piece of us that you want to play for the people that are trying to find some utility that comes from being able to cheer on their football team, watch our guys go to work, and we want to be able to provide a good product for them, provide a good show, and give them a W for sure.
A couple more guys that you said that a lot of people play for a different reason. Is that real in this locker room in terms of one guy more than the other? Kobe Durant's eyes got popped out for 32 buses right there. Can you speak to what's kind of the feeling in that locker room that inspires Snoop?
Well, I think there's a lot of guys that are feeling it in a lot of different ways. Some guys have, some guys grew up around here, a family here that are not only are they affected, but their whole family is feeling the effects of this. And I think that is kind of the thing that us going away together and the Rams bringing everyone to Arizona. I think that's that's what you could feel it. You could feel just that many people are affected by these things, and it's felt deeply, and understand the connection of just that was just family, but you connect with the friends, people that you're feeling the friends' lives have been uprooted, and who knows what's going to happen, but you want to support them in any way you can, and just I think in all this tragedy and all this stuff that's so terrible, there are so many people that want to help, and I do think that's the flip side of this thing is you're going to get an opportunity to see the Los Angeles people who are oftentimes in media shed in a bad light, but you're going to see the generosity. You're going to see the people that are selfless and are wanting to help and step outside themselves for a little bit and be able to step in other people's shoes and say, how can I get my hands dirty and help people out? So I'm excited for that.
Last one, guys. The weather forecast calls for cold, freezing snow. How does that impact the way that you're able to do your job as a receiver and as a blogger?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played in a true snow game. I played at Eastern Washington. We played in very cold games, but never anything with actual snow on the ground. We'll see what ends up happening, but you just handle it. You handle it, whatever it's going to be. We were just a couple weeks ago watching the the famous snow game that Matthew played in with Calvin. Calvin's hyperventilating with the snow in his helmet and everything. I was telling Matt, man, that'd be so cool. That's such a unique thing to play in that, because then all the game playing, all the stuff you go into it, all kind of comes down to man, who wants it more? Who's going to just find a way to get it done? And that'd be a cool thing. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm excited. Whatever the conditions are, I know we'll handle it the right way. You had one.
Yeah, quick base. It's the same practice schedule. 21, coming off the Arizona win, going into the Tampa game. What worked well about that approach?
Yeah, I was told that we were copy and pasted kind of some of that stuff over. I didn't even remember what it was. So I was wondering why we weren't doing anything. What we were doing and weren't doing yesterday versus what we're doing today. And they said that's what we did then. I was like, you know what, it worked. I'm good with it.
Weather forecast calling for very cold game with some wind and maybe some snow. How does that affect the way that you do your job, in the pass game and also in the run blocking?
I can't really think of how it's going to affect me. I mean, we have the ability to wear your 7-set cleats out there, and we're going to be prepared in the ways that we can. But it's exciting. I think the game of football is meant to be played physically, so I think that's what Sunday will permit.
You were at the Laker game last night. Did you feel some of the emotion differently of sports helping this city with what they're going through?
I think so. It was I'm a big basketball fan, and so it was sweet to, I think, resilient would be the word that I would use for that game that I watched last night. I think that's been used in our facility over these last couple of weeks as we've been playing football, and it's something that, man, it's in what's going on in the events that we've been faced with, being resilient will pay off. So I think that's something that I definitely saw last night, and it's being preached in here as well.
I was going to say, is it still an important part of this week? It's much different than you did in Arizona. But is it still part of the mantra here?
Yeah, I think it definitely, last week with just all of the events and how immediate it was affecting us, but it's still being that, man, it wasn't something that just kind of disappeared overnight. People are still being affected, and we're still trying to make sure the efforts from our organization and for the people of Los Angeles are being applied to being able to help the people out here, and then also the urgency and the excitement that it felt for us to win on Monday. So, and it's just feeling that from the people that came out to support us, being able to come back home, and then just being back in our environment. Ooh, I think the classic saying is, "What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger." And I think as a little brother, I think of all those moments. I took my fair share of being and all the reps you have in practice of being able to learn and it not going your way, and then being able to go out there and have the week of preparation to correct those mistakes, so that then being able to go out there and execute on Sundays. It's a really rewarding feeling.
Eagles have two great corners in Darius Slay and Quinyon Mitchell. In that Week 12 game, what did you see from them that stood out about the way that they play the game?
I think two smart football players, guys who are well aware and communicate well on the defensive side of the ball, and then especially in Darius Slay, a veteran guy who's been around and seen different movement patterns and different concepts, and being able to obviously play with Matthew and stuff like that. So, but it's an exciting challenge for us in the wide receiver room.
Do you think he gains any advantage or information having played with Matthew for as long as he did?
I wouldn't say so. I think we have the advantage in being the young guys on the football field.
What's the worst conditions you've played in weather-wise? Any story of a game you played in that's awful?
We made it out of New York. I think the last time when we played the Jets, I thought it was pretty cold over there. I was like, honestly, I don't think I had feeling in my feet until halftime. We went in for halftime, and I was like, oh, they're in my toes. I felt like I was running on 4x4s the whole game. But so that one was pretty cool. There are maybe some in youth football back in Utah where we played in a little bit of snow. But they got the heat warmers and stuff. They put your 7 cents in, and then we'll be ready to run the ball and do whatever it needs to win. Thank you.
I felt good. I needed it. We all needed it. But it was fun. I loved it. Hope I get another one this week. Oh, Q's is amazing. You know what I'm saying? I love that fact that Q got that thing. So look for more of them.
How was it practicing out there in the snow today, and how much of an advantage is it for you guys to get that practice in those elements?
Well, it's not really too much of a advantage. Like, we professionals, so it's like not too much advantage. Definitely. I play with staff, so we was in Detroit outside all the time, and that shit cold too. So it ain't, so it's not, I don't see it as nothing as advantage. It's an element, and we just gotta go out here and just go hard. So I don't believe in that kind of like weather management. Not too much, unless it's just snowing, and then like they don't got they just never see snow, like as in the whole field covered up, wet balls.
It has to be hard though. It's slick out there for you to cut and move and do.
Yeah. That's what I'm here to say y'all right now. So tell D-Jack stop gassing up the 2013 game, because it was slick out there, man. It was hard to tackle him out there, man. You know what I'm saying? And he up here getting all freaky and dicky on us and jumping over us and stuff. You know how hard it was to tackle the DJ? I mean, them boys in that snow, it was hard. Like slushy out there. But yeah, but shout out to my brother. Shout out to him. He did go crazy on us though. That was my rookie year. I'm not that old, so don't get that old. Yeah, I'm not that old.
Did you record another snow game?
Huh?
What do you remember most about that?
Him getting crazy for real. He like, you know what I'm saying? He went crazy. Like, he did go crazy. We shut him down the first half. We were kind of excited. And the next thing you know, I guess when we realized like they cannot throw the ball, neither one of us can't throw the ball because the weather is just bad. They just started handing the ball, and he just got like, what's the saying is, he like give crazy work. He just started giving us crazy work, and they went crazy. Yeah, so hopefully, I hope not to snow like that this weekend. That would be crazy.
Having played with the quarterback you're going against, is there a little bit more of an advantage?
For me?
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, but he got a little advantage too because he know what I like to do. So it's like we know each other very well, man. Staff, I say, always been one of the top quarterbacks in the league, one of the top 5. I don't know why I'm supposed to be leaving him out of that conversation, because it's not immediate quarterback that got the arm talent, the guy that's seen every coverage that's possible, and he can make all the throws. So yeah, man. But we'll be looking forward to going against my dude again, man. what is my second time or third time in the playoff, and, since we've been separated. So it's been fun. And, right now, I'm trying to make sure I stay where we're at, undefeated with it. So.
The way they're playing, what do they do that could give you some trouble?
Say again?
The way they're playing, what do they do that could give you
It's
some
all
trouble?
kind of stuff, man. Stafford's real good at what he does, with play action. They getting their run game going. Everything. So, if it need to be a run game, Stafford play action game, he could do that. I just watched them play Buffalo. And shoot, you see what they, what I'm saying? They got it all. And you can see it being empty all day. He can do it everything. So Stafford got the ability to be under the center, gun. If you want to just make this a passing game, a shutout game. So he got the ability to do a lot of great things. So we just got to make sure we, get to him as a defense and sack him a lot. Get him to get his timing off, disrupt routes. Because if it ain't disrupting nothing, it gonna be a good day for him. We don't need a good day for him.
What were the challenges like going against Puka and also Cooper Kupp?
Great. They're great. Great receiver core. I think they're real great because of the fact that, I've been playing this game for a long time. Usually the guy that makes all the money don't do all the dirty work. And these guys here both do dirty work. Even though, the young guy, Puka not paid, but we all know that he's a star receiver in this league. So you don't really kind of see them guys inserting and blocking safeties and stuff like that. So with them doing that, it makes it tough to get the tell on what they can do or not. So, you got to fit the run. Sometimes they might insert and go vertical, run around. So you got to be ready, prepared for all that kind of stuff. So that's why I think what makes them special. I think they're both two receivers that's willing blockers that can block very, very good. So that's why I think that makes them a top duo, core in the league.
Thanks.
Last time you guys played the Rams, obviously week 12, Saquon, great day, but he can't have a great day without you guys up front. How are you guys planning to hopefully make sure he has another great day this time around too?
Well, one, hoping that the communication is better up front, making sure that we execute. I think every game starts with us, especially the run game. When we look back at last week's film, probably that's one area where we need to improve more, just the communication, because that leads to execution errors when you're not sure what you're doing. So I'd say, to have another dominant game, we have to, again, continue to communicate, over-communicate, because that will lead to execution.
With the way they're playing, what do they do that give you some trouble?
I say they have a very disciplined defensive front. They have great guys up front too. So for us, we just have to, it's never about worrying about what they're going to do. For us, it's like a reaction game. So we always preach about worrying about doing your job, and that's what we're going to do. Because we can watch all the film that we want, but once we get out there on the field, they could either do something different, or they could stick to the script, what they put on film, and then it's a reaction game. What do you remember most?
They had 9 sacks against the Vikings on Monday night. Did you see anything different from the way they played that game as opposed to when they played you guys?
I saw a well-coached defense. You could see it in their rush, the rushing lanes as well. But, again, I'm not going to gas them up that much. I can't do that. I think we have a good system here as well, and we've got great players, and they got great. It's good on good. They got great players, and they got a great rush scheme as well. So, we see that on film, and we have to do a good job of stopping that. So.
How was it practicing out there today in the snow, in the elements, and how much of an advantage is it to get that practice in?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was miserable. It's miserable. I'm not gonna lie. But that is one of the advantages of playing at home. You've got to get used to this weather, and for it to be, very consistent weather, it's good for us. But then again, it's whoever shows up on Sunday.
How much more of a challenge is it? Just with the conditions being so slick, is it an advantage for the offensive line versus the defense guys who are trying to get that jump?
I don't even know. I've never been asked that question before. If the weather plays into an advantage for an O-lineman, it don't matter what weather it is. All right, we're already at a disadvantage. But I think in this case, I don't know how to really answer that one, just because I don't see it as a advantage or disadvantage. It's just football weather. However, I do feel a lot fitter in the cold. I don't know. So.
What do you remember about your first matchup with Jared Hurst?
Shoot. What do I remember? It feels like you set me up, Elliot. Golly. I remember when I got flat-backed. That's what I remember. It was good rush by him. But, like I said, it's gone good. But, the guy plays with high motor. Hey, don't forget, play a Spotlight Mills tonight. It's me. Don't forget, CD. Don't forget, A5 Wagyu beef, man.
I know. I'm going to drive my car to the front. So, if anybody wants to know, Jordan Lyle became my best friend when I was in first grade. I moved from Australia to Florida.
Like I said, I think I think he plays well. He plays hard. He's got some great moves. But there's one thing I remember is it's him getting one on me. But to be fair, I got a couple on him too. So I'm gonna say that. Good on good, like I said. Good on good.
Jordan, the atmosphere was incredible this wild card game? Do you expect much of the same? And how much does that give you guys a little bit of an advantage when you're welcoming in another tough opponent?
Yeah, I think it's going to give us a big advantage, especially for the defense. We try to not feed off the fans during the offense because there's so much to hear in the huddle, and then again the communication. So now that we know what kind of environment we're in, it's pretty loud even when we're out there. So the fans are hyped 24/7, which is pretty cool.
You mentioned after the game that the offense felt a bit rusty. You then corrected yourself. You guys needed to work on communication procedure. Do you feel confident in the last 2 practices that you guys have improved on that?
Yes. Our walkthrough reps, that's why we walk through. I think we get a lot of stick for walking through, but that's really where we get most of our reps. We run like 70, 80 plays, and it's just communication. But mostly for communication, making sure that we get every single look that the coaches want us to see, whatever's in their DNA, something that's a one-timer. We'll get that look. But I think we've made steps to improving. I don't want to jinx it. I'm superstitious, guys. Can't wait.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge positive for us. From home fans, I think offensively, communication is a great deal. Obviously, the energy, defense helps them out too. So, yeah, I'm super excited, and we're fortunate to be where we're at.
The Rams had 9 sacks the other night. What are you noticing from their defensive line?
Their offensive line couldn't block them. That's what it was. So I don't know, man. They do a bunch of different stuff. Burst is a good player. Byron's a good player. New D tackles, I feel like they're young, but they're really one of the better fronts in the league. So last game, we ran the ball well. We got to the second level effectively and had a big game. So I imagine it'll probably be a little bit different lookout or how they're going to play us this go around.
Blaine, we hear so much about the physicality of this team. How is that emphasized by the coaching staff?
I guess just keep calling run plays. But yeah, going to the season, we have expectations, but we went from really throwing the ball down the field to run play action team, and so when you're able to do that, you can wear down defenders. Sometimes it doesn't work immediately, but as the game goes on, you can see some huge chunks, some huge gains in the run game from guys getting tired, worn down, or missing assignments. So eventually wears them down.
When you have that kind of success, Wayne, in that first matchup, you mentioned you expect them to do a lot of different things, but does that give you guys confidence to say, we did it one time, we can do it again?
I think when you go and look at the personnel, I think they have really good edge rushers, just really good D-line in general. Even though AD retired, you look at the sacks and the pressures and the hurries that this team has, they're very successful. So, going to the first game, I'll look at the D-line, they're always tough. So they're going to do different stuff schematically than what they did. They did a lot of 97 spinner package last game, roamed him around trying to throw us off our point. So they did some past few games, but not as much. So I think it will be a little bit different.
What have you noticed about Bruce from just not being on field now compared to
he's still bull rushing and people. So he's got a tremendous get off. He plays hard. Really has come along in the run game too. So he's just one of those players that obviously really talented, but the more experience he gets, the better he's going to become.
I want to ask you about the physicality of this team. We hear about it so much, and we hear Nick puts the videos up on the board. Do you have a favorite play that has kind of embodied that this year?
You look at our offensive line; it starts up there, up front always. You can get a lot of clips. You've seen pretty much every O lineman do it. Last week there was one, Jordan, front side inside zone, watch the defensive end, 10, 15 yards. Mackay against linebackers when he gets to the second level. They're in for a long day when they get up there. So there's a lot of plays that the O line does, and it just embodies the physicality of this team, and everybody just tries to follow along with them.
When you see that, does it kind of enforce it in the whole team?
Yeah, I think it starts there, and I think the offensive line also loves when somebody else is doing it. Smitty, he's excellent at finishing on the sidelines. Saquon with his powerful runs. I think that's really contagious when people play physical.
Hey, what did the Rams do? You watched them get 9 sacks the other night and shut down Minnesota. Reaction to that?
Obviously they're a good team. When you get this time of the year, everybody you play is going to be a good team. They're going to have stuff for you, and you have to be ready for it. They got a really good defensive front. The defensive ends fly around. We got a really good O-line, and I'm just excited for this matchup. Should be a lot of fun.
In light of the injuries that you've had to go through this year, I'm sure it was difficult. How important was it for you to contribute the way you did this past game?
It was a lot of fun. Anytime I'm on the field, my goal is to help the team win in any way I can, and I feel like I did a good job of that this week.
Who had the best reaction to your touchdown?
I'll probably have to say my favorite was Jalen Hunt. You know, he came up to me, hyped me up a little bit. Always makes you feel good. He's been doing a tremendous job with his increased role, so that was pretty cool.
It looked like the same pass that he threw to Saquon where he did the reverse leap. Crazy things happened with that play at some point, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of playmakers on this team. You get the football in, our hands. We can do special things. So, just shout out to Jalen for using us.
Do you think that you have to you've done a lot obviously in this league, but maybe because you hadn't played as much this year, people are sleeping on what you're capable of?
I don't really worry about other people's opinions. I think the people in this building know what I'm capable of, know what I bring to the table each and every time. So leave that to the other people. But I got full belief in myself, and I think I got full belief of everybody on the team in me as well. So but it's important to go out there and keep reminding people.
Kellen singled out your run blocking in particular. How do you feel about that when you rewatch the film?
Yeah, I think it was one of my better blocking games for sure this year. Maybe in the last couple of years or ever since I broke my arm, I was really shooting my hands and doing things like that. It felt really good, and I just got to keep going on that.
I don't know if you saw Slay's podcast, but he was advocating you should be Defensive Player of the Year. What does that mean when a team captain says that about you?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I did see a clip of that, and just appreciation and the respect I have in this locker room. It means a lot to me, and the Defensive Player of the Year is credit to a lot of different guys on this team, not just myself.
There's a sense that, and I'm sorry if you asked this before I came up, there's a sense that the Rams are playing a lot better football and they're on a good trajectory. I guess when you look at them on tape, where do you think they've maybe improved since you guys played them in November?
Yeah, I think they're capitalizing on their run game. They have a really good running back and a good offensive line, great scheme. They do things that make it difficult with your eyes, and their receivers are physical in the run game. I think that's their basis, and that's what they're doing really well right now.
How does the frequent use of motion with their receivers stress the linebackers in particular?
Yeah, you got to have your eyes right for sure the whole time. There's a lot of eye candy in motion. They'll shift a guy and then they'll motion a guy back, and it makes it really difficult on linebackers.
Is Trot ready?
Yeah, Trot is definitely ready.
How do you know that?
Because I'm practicing with him. I'm playing with him. Yeah, he's been ready for a long time now. He's really excited, and I'm excited for him and Orrin.
Do you agree with Slay that you are the Defensive Player of the Year?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really look at other people's stats, so I don't know what their stats are. So I don't know. And I don't know. That's a tough question. Sorry.
You mentioned how physical they are at receiver. Puka specifically. Are there many receivers as physical as he is?
He's definitely towards the top. Definitely at the top. I mean, in the run game and then after the catch, he's really physical and tough to take down.
So when we talk about physicality with this team, I know Nick puts the plays up on the board for all of you guys. Is there one that kind of stands out this year that you enjoyed watching the most?
The Cooper DeJean on Derrick Henry for sure. That's the epitome of who we're trying to be and what we're trying to do.
When you see that, does it kind of reinforce that mentality in this team?
Yeah, because you talk about physicality, you think defensive line and offensive line and running backs and linebackers. But when you got DBs doing stuff like that, I mean, it sends a message to the team. And you see Slagan in there, you see Quinion up at the line of scrimmage, Reed coming flying downhill. It's awesome to see.
Speaking of the running backs, obviously the Rams use Kyron Williams in a lot of different ways. They use him a lot. What have you kind of seen from him that sticks out and makes it a challenge for you guys?
Yeah, he's shifty, really explosive, very, very quick, and smaller guy, so he's tough to tackle for sure.
This week, Vic Fangio said about you that you have a good future, and in fact, that future is now. What does that level of confidence from Coach Fangio mean to you as you get this opportunity with Nakobe out?
It definitely means a lot. Just Coach Fangio saying that about me, and just shows the confidence that he has in my abilities, and knowing that your coach believes in you and believes that you can get the job done. Especially when right now when the team needs it. When my dog with Nakobe out, sadly I'm going to be praying for him a speedy recovery. But just having that confidence from coach, it definitely means a lot.
How valuable was it in Week 18 to get out there and get a lot of reps in real time, real game action?
Yeah, I definitely thought those reps helped out a lot. In practice, I was getting reps and just trying to do what I could, out there, make sure I was getting better and working on my craft. But getting real game reps definitely helps out a lot, especially just learning from the veterans all the way up to this point as well.
Do you get a sense that the spot is open to start on Sunday?
Say that again?
Do you get a sense that the spot is open to start on Sunday?
Well, right now I'm just trying to prepare. I need to prepare, just to make the most of any opportunity that I get. I'm not really, worried about it. That's really up to the coaches and everything. But right now, I'm just trying to make sure I prepare. And when, if I get in there, make sure I do my job to, for my guys on the defense and just on the other side of the ball, to try to make impactful plays to help the team win.
Do you feel like he rotates backups who started in practice as his rule? What's it been like in your season with Zach in practice?
No, yeah, it definitely meant a lot. Zach, took me under his wing, just teaching me everything he's learned, and just being a great veteran guy. I really appreciate him, and I appreciate the whole linebacker room, a lot just older guys in the room. So I just try to soak it all in and learn from them, and really just try to become better from the knowledge that they share with me.
Do you feel like you're ready for this opportunity, and how do you know?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm ready, prepared every single week, kind of like I was going to start. I try to make sure I'm always on top of on top of what I need to do as far as mentally and preparation-wise, and I just try to look up to the veterans to see how they prepare as well. And I mean, that's really all you can do. I just have full faith in God. That He'll be with me and just guide me out there on the field.
You were real some of the guys you kind of leaned on this year. That was playing playoff games at the Link. But what does it mean to you? What's it like playing a playoff game at the Link, wearing that jersey, and playing for the Eagles?
No, it definitely means a lot. I've been watching the Eagles ever since I was a kid. I was around the facility, around the people here that are still here now, and being able to put on the jersey is definitely a great feeling. It's going to be a different point of view. I guess I've already experienced it by now, but it's definitely something that's surreal. Playing for your hometown team, and it's already being a fan of the team. So I want to win it just as much as the fans want us to win. So I just try to make sure I do everything I can to make sure I do my part.
Did Nakobe give you any advice stepping into his shoes for this weekend?
Really, he just told me to be me. At the end of the day, it's football. So I just got to make sure, as long as you do the preparation and put in the work, when the lights aren't on, and you're going to be fine. But he just told me to trust my abilities, trust in what I prepare for.
Obviously, special teams has been a big part of your role this year. Did you feel like that was a good chance for you to show what you can do eventually, and show it on defense as well?
I definitely feel like that was a part of it, but also practice. Making sure I'm working hard every single day, just doing my job, and trying to just show the coaches and really gain the coaches' trust and gain trust of my teammates. Just letting everybody know that Jeremiah Trotter Jr. He's going to work hard, he's going to do his job, and he's going to put his best foot forward.
I heard Zach say that you're a good rookie in terms of the rookie duties. How have you tried to fulfill them, and what's been the big one?
Yeah, the biggest one is probably in the snacks for the LB room. So I make sure the guys got snacks in there. They haven't hit me for my rookie dinner yet, so I'll probably be doing that. They might post some videos or something, but hopefully they don't hit my pockets too hard. But I really try make sure I doing my part there. I know all that they had to do it when they were rookies. And I appreciate them for that. They're not too hard on me either. So
what's on the list of snacks?
The popular one is the Sour Patch Bites and Gushers. I just had to restock on Gushers today, actually. Yeah.
Do you take orders? Or you memorize about that?
I do take orders. Usually it's the same guy at this point, but if they got any special requests, I'm always open.
Okay, guys. As far as injuries are concerned, Higbee was limited. Akello Witherspoon and Bobby Brown did not participate. Everybody else was full.
Sean, do you have any clarity?
I do. I expect all of them to play.
Do you have any clarity on Tyler Higbee's chest injuries?
Yeah, so, Tyler's making great progress. He was able to participate today. Alaric, we didn't practice yesterday. It was just a projection. So, got a shot to the chest in the game. Nothing like what Higbee's was, and he was good today.
What exactly happened?
He just got the, little chest contusion. You know the answer to that question. Yeah, there you go. I would say this, the weather has changed in the last couple of days. We'll see what it is, but we are aware of that. I think the biggest thing is just being mindful of if the surface is affected, that our cleats aren't an issue. That's a big part of it. Brendan Berger does a great job with that, Lindsey. And, I think, Matthew's had experience handling that ball. I know this, if it does snow, if it does rain, we got to be mindful of what we need to do to adjust and adapt, but there's no way it can be as cold as it was at the Jets game.
First, obviously, talked a lot about the first time facing Saquon Barkley. Now seeing him again, how much do you think that earlier experience is going to help those guys just knowing the
Here's what I would say. I think humbling experiences with the right people can be great learning ops, great growth opportunities. I think there's a ton of respect that our guys have where you think you know what it's like, and then when he gets to the second and third levels and the way that their offensive line is able to come off and get removal on some of their double teams, you have a real appreciation for the type of strain and finish that it's going to take to play at the level that we're capable of and what's going to be necessary if we expect to be able to advance. So I think it's definitely helpful. I think both teams, and I think they've continued to improve since then. I think there's been a lot of learning, a lot of growth from us since then, but ultimately everything that occurred in that game, it's about how we play in this 3-hour window. But I absolutely think there's appreciation and understanding of what's going to be required for us to try to slow down what's a great offense.
Sean, what went into the decision not to practice yesterday?
We had a similar situation, Adam, in the 21 season when we played Arizona on Monday night, and then we were going to Tampa on a short week. felt like that schedule worked out. I think the most important thing is let's allow our players to be able to get recovered, turned over. They came in, they lifted, they got themselves refreshed and recharged. I think our guys have been able to handle short weeks, if you will, and so we felt like it would be better to say, all right, let's do a thorough, diligent job of putting together first, second, and third down today, get a little bit of good stress on their bodies, and then we'll try to get back to what is a normal rhythm and routine in terms of on our Fridays, on our Saturdays, but really just some previous experience with that, and it enabled really, most importantly, the players, but also the coaches to not feel like you're just throwing a plan together, but you're diligent about that, and our guys handled it really well today. He's always made it a priority, but I think the sense of urgency increased. I think the coachability, I think he's one of those guys, Sarah, that he's all about the right stuff. And so when you have some challenging, moments or situations that occur, those are where the real growth ops exist. Really similar to what I was talking to Lindsay about in terms of our defense seeing their offense. Thought he's done a really good job. Obviously, there were some good ones the other day that we got away with against Minnesota, but have total trust and confidence. And I think he understands. And I think they do as good a job as any team that we've played this year in terms of attacking at the football. And you got to be mindful of in a lot of those traffic situations where you're leaving it susceptible and what's going to be necessary to take care of it.
Sean, go back to that two questions.
I'll come to you next.
What do you think of going into another matchup against Vic Fangio?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you guys get Cooper Kupp on a ball in terms of being targeted?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is this is a Rams offense versus the Eagles defense. Coach Fangio is, there's a ton of respect that I have for him, the consistency at which he's done it, the way that, his guys play. There's an identity, there's a philosophy, but I think there's a flexibility like I talked to you guys about earlier in the year in terms of, all right, there's some foundational principles, but what fits this group? They're obviously at the top of the charts in every single metric that really matters. They're as good as it gets defensively, and I think that's a tremendous credit to his leadership, his ability to be able to have a great staff around him, and then ultimately get it communicated to their great players, and they bring it to life. And so we know what a great challenge it's going to be and how little margin for error you have if you expect to consistently move the ball and ultimately finish drives against as good a defense as there is in this league, arguably the best. And then as it relates to Cooper, we really try to get him involved. He's always a focal point. Sometimes the coverages don't end up allow that to occur. I thought the play that he made down the right sideline was a tremendous play for us. There were some other opportunities, but then really once we kicked a field goal and it got to 27-3 the other night, there was a very different approach that we took. And like any great leader, I think he was just glad to be a part of, winning for our team, but he'll always be a guy that we want to try to be able to get involved. But the amount of passes that we threw just in general and the types of passes, and then, we were in some different personnel groupings that limited the total snap count for our receivers in general. So that did limit some of the opportunities as it relates to the Vikings game.
On Monday night, a lot of guys are wearing those fire department. You talked about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Does that emotion play into the recovery process this week?
That's probably a better question for those guys. I think here's what I would say. I think like we talked about after the game, and really it continues to go on. I think the appreciation, the perspective of, where sports fit in terms of the platform that our guys have to be able to do right, to be able to offer a little bit of a temporary relief for the amount of people that are feeling this thing, to really use that as an opportunity to make sure you recognize, all right, these first responders in LA, the fire department, what a great job they've done of doing some real life stuff that's a lot bigger than sports. And so I'm just really proud of our group and the way they've handled it. I think they understand the perspective and the platform, and the way that they've approached all of it has been something that I'm really proud to be a small part of.
When you look back at that first meeting with the Eagles, obviously Saquon sticks out. Is there something else you pop in the tape that really stuck out to you that we have to do this better?
Certainly there is. I'm not going to say that on here. But here's what I would say. I think when you look at it, I think there's been a lot of growth from our group since then. I think that was a very humbling night. I think first and foremost, you look at yourself as a coaching staff and you say, what can we do to make sure that our players are in some better spots? And then what kind of sense of urgency is going to be required on a day in, day out basis to be able to continuously improve? There's a reason why they are where they are. They're an excellent football team. There's no weaknesses that they have. They're well coached. They have great personnel. They play a certain style of football that is really conducive to being able to win as a team. And that's why they've won so many games. And so we have to do a great job of trying to be able to limit some of the opportunities, be able to get off the grass on third down. The possessions end up being limited, but obviously the run game is a big factor. Some different things to try to limit some of those vertical seams, but they've got a bunch of different ways they can make you pay. And Saquon is certainly an incredible player that we have tremendous respect for. He went absolutely off that night like he's done all season. But I think, like what I was talking about with Lindsay earlier, I think there's a great sense of urgency and understanding of what's going to be required, really in all three phases, to be able to play against an opponent of this caliber.
When you look back to the last one, right, the elation, winning that game, then quickly you come back and realize you're coming back to a natural disaster that was taking place. Like, take me through that thought process, how you quickly shifted to
okay, we're going back to this?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, because it's still going on. I mean, shoot, my power at my house went out again today. And so, I think what you understand is that, this does offer a temporary relief. I was incredibly impressed with our guys' ability to be able to say, all right, what can we do, making sure that first things first, our family, friends, everybody's taken care of. How can we use this platform to be of service to the people that are doing the real work as they're really trying to get all of it under containment? But then also, can we be totally and completely present, and can we continue to represent the right way? That was the thing I was as proud of as anything. Is I think our guys represented LA the right way, use sports as a positive example of what that platform can provide, and that's exactly what is going to be required this week. And I think they understand too that these are precious opportunities that they've earned. Not saying that it's more important than anything that's going on right now. We know where the priorities lie, but I think you can take care of both at the same time, and our guys have done an incredible job of being able to manage that, illustrated by last week. And then, we can sit here and say, oh, challenges of a short week, different things like that. We're not going to allow it to be an excuse. We got to be at our best on Sunday at 3 p.m. In Philadelphia, and we love the opportunity and the challenge, and here we go. Okay? Thanks, guys.
It ain't no doggone tomorrow, fellas. What are you gonna bring to the doggone team? Are you gonna put somebody in their mouth? Are you gonna do your doggone job? Are you gonna play from your doggone chest? Are you gonna play from your heart and get everything you doggone got? Cause I'ma do that. They don't respect us. They don't know about our heart, man. That thing is beating in your doggone chest right now. Whatever you